Have you ever wondered how the brain, a 3-pound mass of tissue, controls your entire being? It's a marvel, isn't it? This intricate organ, with its countless neurons and synapses, is the master controller of everything we do, think, and feel. So how does the brain manage this colossal task? Well, a principle called neuroplasticity plays a key role here. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to change and adapt as a result of experience. It's like the brain's superpower, allowing it to constantly evolve and reshape itself. This is why we can learn new skills, remember a life-changing event, or even recover from brain injuries. Now let's delve a little deeper into how this works. Our brain is teeming with neurons, which are essentially the building blocks of the brain. These neurons communicate with each other through tiny junctions called synapses. Every time we learn something new, these synapses strengthen, creating new pathways in our brain. And it's not just about learning. When we experience something, whether it's the taste of a new food or a heartbreak, our brain changes, adapts, and learns from it. But it's not just the neurons and synapses that are at play. Neurotransmitters, chemicals that transmit signals in the brain, are also crucial to this process. They act like messengers, carrying information from one neuron to another. These neurotransmitters influence everything from our mood to our heart rate, playing a significant role in how we perceive and interact with the world. So the next time you pick up a new language or remember the lyrics to your favorite song, remember, it's all thanks to your brain's incredible ability to adapt and learn. However, it's important to remember that the brain isn't a simple organ that can be controlled or manipulated easily. It's a complex system with intricate processes that are continuously adapting and learning. So the brain isn't a simple organ, but rather a complex system that's continuously adapting and learning. Now, let's take a closer look at brainwaves and their importance. These are electrical signals generated by our brain. They're like the brain's language, a way for different parts to communicate with each other. Brainwaves come in different frequencies, and each frequency is associated with different states of consciousness. For instance, alpha waves are often linked to relaxation, while beta waves are associated with active thinking or focus. But here's the key point. Although certain sounds or frequencies can induce specific brainwave patterns, they can't change the way your brain fundamentally works. It's a bit like trying to have a conversation in a noisy room. The noise might influence the way you talk, maybe you'll speak louder or slower, but it can't change what you're saying or who you are. Therefore, while sounds can influence brainwave patterns, they can't reprogram the brain. The brain is a complex organ, and its functions can't be altered simply by exposure to specific frequencies. Music, it's a universal language, but how does it affect our brains? Immerse yourself in a symphony, and you may feel waves of joy or sorrow wash over you. Tap your foot to a catchy tune, and you'll find your mood lifting. These experiences are not merely subjective. Science has shown that music does indeed have potent effects on our mood, emotions, and even cognitive functions such as memory and attention. However, it's important to understand why this happens. It's not because music has some mystical power to program our brains. Instead, it's because our brains are intricately wired to process sound and associate it with emotions and memories. When we listen to music, different brain regions involved in processing sound, emotions, and cognition all come into play. Picture a grand orchestra, with each instrument contributing to the overall melody. Similarly, our brain is like an orchestra, with different areas working together to interpret the music. The auditory cortex processes the sound, the amygdala responds to the emotional content, and the hippocampus associates the music with memories. This complex interaction of different brain regions is what makes music such a powerful emotional experience. Now, you might have heard that certain music genres or compositions can evoke specific emotions or memories. That's true to an extent. A lullaby can soothe us into sleep, a high-tempo track can pump us up, and a nostalgic song can bring back a flood of memories. But remember, this doesn't mean that music can directly program or control our brains. It simply means that our brains are incredibly adept at associating sounds with emotions and experiences. So the next time you listen to your favorite song and feel a surge of happiness, know that it's your brain doing what it does best: processing, associating, and responding. Music, in its beautiful complexity, can indeed influence our emotions and cognition, but it doesn't have the power to directly control or program our brains. It's an art form that moves us, not a tool that manipulates us. Remember, while the melody can guide us, we, the listeners, always hold the baton. In the realm of science, it's crucial to distinguish fact from fiction. Let's debunk a common myth, the idea that specific frequencies can directly manipulate or reprogram our brain. This concept, while intriguing, is not backed by scientific evidence. The brain is a complex organ, not a simple machine that can be controlled with specific frequencies. It's a dynamic network of neurons, synapses, and neurotransmitters, all working in harmony to shape our thoughts, emotions, and perceptions. Brainwaves, the electrical signals generated by our brain, do respond to certain stimuli, but this does not translate to direct manipulation of brain function. For instance, alpha waves, associated with relaxation, can indeed be induced by certain frequencies. However, this is more akin to setting the mood in a room with soft lighting, not reprogramming a computer. Misinformation, like the notion that brain function can be controlled by specific frequencies, can lead to false expectations and even dangerous practices. It's essential to approach such claims with skepticism and discernment. So where should we turn if we're interested in the influence of sound on the brain? The answer lies in evidence-based approaches. Music therapy, for instance, uses music to help individuals manage physical, emotional, cognitive, and social needs. It's backed by a body of research and practiced by trained professionals. Another interesting field is brainwave entrainment, the practice of causing brainwave frequencies to fall into step with a periodic stimulus. This is a legitimate area of research, but it doesn't offer a magical shortcut to reprogramming the brain. It's another tool in the toolbox of understanding how our brains respond to the world around us. As we move forward in our exploration of the brain, we must remain vigilant against misinformation and always seek out credible scientific sources. Remember, the brain is a complex system, not a machine that can be reprogrammed with specific frequencies. Always rely on credible scientific sources for information on the brain and its functions.